Chances are if you clicked on this video, you're in the game for getting compliments and you don't want to risk offending anyone around you. And I guess let's be real here. I would say the majority of people who set out and wear a fragrance every day aren't trying to offend people with their scent. That isn't a goal that they have in mind. But there are definitely some fragrances out there that are a bit more polarizing, that are a bit more challenging. And a lot of times you'll find that fragrances like that could yield you the best results, the best reactions. Because while you may get a few people who dislike it, they're not a fan of it, you'll find that the people who like it really end up liking it, and that's when you get some of those over-the-top reactions. However, if the risk to reward ratio just isn't there for you and you want to play it as safe as possible, today we have 10 fragrances that are just so safe, so easy, and I can basically guarantee that they will never let you down for compliments. If you were to get a negative reaction out of these, I would be shocked. I'm not saying it's not going to happen. There's always that risk, there's always that possibility, but very unlikely. I will link all of these down below to discounters, and you will also find a link to the FragranceNet 35% off code. Clicking that will automatically apply the current up-to-date discount, and it'll also get you the best discount possible. So if I'm referencing prices here and there in the video, do realize that it is discounted prices. All right, enough talking. Let's just go ahead and jump right into it. First up, we have Azzaro Chrome Sport. Grapefruit, lemon, ginger, and watery notes are a few of the main notes. I've always loved the look of the bottle on this, but I really do enjoy frosted glass bottles and fragrances. I think if just about anything had a frosted glass bottle, it would look cool to me. But what does that do? Well, to me, a frosted glass bottle symbolizes something that's very fresh, very sporty, and very light. And that's what this one is. Now, if I were to compare it to something, it almost has a little bit of a Versace Man Eau Fresh type of smell. Blue bottle, they're in the similar ballpark here of being kind of tropical, a little bit Mediterranean, very citrusy, musky, and super, super likable. Now, at the end of the day, that's kind of what we're shooting for. You know, a lot of times when it comes to playing it super safe and also getting compliments, citrus-themed fragrances like this one are going to be the ones you want to gravitate towards. Now, in this video, we do have a mix as usual. There's going to be some sweeter ones in here, that sort of thing. But a lot of times, if you want to play it absolutely as safe as possible, go for the freshies. They may not be as exciting, they may not be as challenging, but that's just kind of how it is. Next up, we have Armani Code Colonia. So the first one there, Chrome Sport, was a little bit of a budget option for you. This is if you want to step it up. Now, what I like so much about Colonia is it's not quite to the price of Profumo and Absolute, the other flankers in the line here. Those can be pushing, you know, $80, sometimes $90 I've seen. This one, I believe you can get for around $60. So it's a nice little step up from fragrances that are in the, you know, $30, $40 range. Tonka bean, amberwood, bergamot, and orange. This one has a little bit of a sweetness to it where Chrome Sport really doesn't. You get the tonka bean giving it a little bit of a sweetness, nice fresh amberwood, bergamot, orange mix up top, giving it kind of a bright tart freshness. The orange is also adding to a little bit of a creaminess here. It's super safe and super wearable. This one kind of got swept under the rug when it first came out, but I really do find myself enjoying this one. And for me, I gravitate towards this one a lot in kind of the spring, early summer. Once it gets later on in the summer, I am shifting over to, you know, generally fresher things. But when there's still just a little bit of a bite in the air, a little bit of a coolness, I go for something like this. I mean, it absolutely crushes it in the compliment category. There's no need to say anything else. Next up, we have Les Parfum by Versace, their newest, latest, and greatest that has somehow already hit discounters at a really, really good price. It will be linked down below, like $85 for 100 ml full presentation. Retail is like $140. Apple, tonka bean, amber, and mint. Now, it's no surprise that Eros is a compliment getter, but I've been wearing this Parfum version so much, not only because I really like it, which I do really like it, but also because the reactions it's been getting me has been shocking. And again, that's not a surprise, but you know, I wasn't expecting it to do this well. I mean, this stuff is kind of like a cheat code almost. And what I think it is they've tweaked the DNA in such a way that it has a little bit more of a richness, more of a sweet heartiness, a little bit of a maturity to it instead of just being super, super sweet and bubblegummy and playful. There's a little bit of a refined quality to it. This one here is a home run. They absolutely knocked it out of the park with Les Parfum. I can't say enough good things about it. It's that Eros DNA, but richer, stronger, a little bit more spicy. This smells great, and this is coming from someone who likes Eros because it's been a fragrance that I got into when I was first starting out, but it's not a mind blower to me anymore, the original. And I got many other things obviously in my collection, but this Parfum, this one's had me pretty blown away. Highly recommend you check it out. If you're looking to pick up a new release that is on discounters, that's going to be one that you can get for a really good price. And don't worry, it is not going to let you down, I promise. And I'm sure as you guys know, one other thing you can do that's super easy, in addition to just picking up a fragrance and spraying it on, is getting yourself into a good skincare routine. That's why we partnered up with Tiege Hanley to be the sponsor of this one. We worked with Tiege Hanley all last year, and I feel like I've helped a lot of you guys out, maybe even change some of your lives if you were struggling with acne or dry skin or blemishes on your skin. Getting into a skincare routine, especially when you're young or as soon as you can really make a huge difference. They take all the guesswork out of it. They ship everything you need directly to your doorstep every single month, and they give you a nice instruction card to tell you exactly what to apply, when to apply it, and how much to use. I mean, you can't mess it up. I recommend starting with their level 1 system, which includes all of the basics. You get a daily face wash, a 2 times per week exfoliating scrub, a morning moisturizer with SPF 20, and an evening moisturizer that you put on before you go to bed. Again, this is all delivered directly to your door for only $30 a month. So click the link down below to get started for less than $1 a day. And also by using that link, you will also get a free gift with your first box of Tiege Hanley. Thanks again to Tiege Hanley for sponsoring the video, supporting the channel, and helping to change your lives. Let's get back into it. Next up, another new release. We'll knock them out back to back here. This is Y Les Parfum by Yves Saint Laurent. Apple, sage, aldehydes, and lavender are a few of the main notes. This is another one that was put out last year that just had me in shambles. I was like, holy crap, why am I liking this so much? A seemingly basic labeled fragrance is really just rocking my world. And I've always been a fan of the EDP, Y EDP, so I knew I was going to like this one. But yet again, this is a brand improving upon a great DNA even further. They already knew that the EDT worked. They released the EDP, and that one's like a top seller across the board for men. So they knew that one worked really well. And they were able to work upon that DNA and somehow make it even more appealing, especially to the enthusiast. Again, with this Parfum, it has more of a richness, more of a depth. There's a tiny bit more of a sweetness in here, but overall, there's a bit more to dissect. It's a bit more interesting. And I personally, I just really like how Parfum fragrances wear on my skin. When you smell a Parfum, especially after you've smelled a bunch of different things ranging from different concentrations, you can kind of smell and feel just the difference in how it wears, how it lays on your skin, just more of a richness overall. It's a very high concentration, and I do enjoy that. So for them to improve upon this, release a super strong Parfum, this one also is a monster. Performance is great, compliment factors out of this world. It's not even fair. If you wear this one out, the attention's going to be on you. So have fun and be careful with it. I didn't even mean for this to happen. I put all these in here intentionally, but somehow they all ended up next to each other. Dior Sauvage Parfum. Do you see my obsession with parfums? I'm not lying to you guys when I say that these parfums, they kick butt. Sandalwood, bergamot, and olibanum are just a few of the notes here. You'll notice that it ditches the traditional Sauvage notes. So that super strong bergamot black pepper is kind of done away with, in addition to more of a creaminess from the sandalwood, the olibanum, and of course this nice little fresh pop in here, this ambroxan pop, even if it's not really fully listed. It's there, but it smells fantastic. This is not to the level of maturity as Sauvage Elixir, but it is much more mature than the EDT and the EDP. It's another one that strikes a nice balance. You have that hardiness and that richness from the concentration here, so the performance is great. It really does cut through the air, and it hangs in the air for a long time, and it has this richness that people will melt for. One that is on discounters, but it's not cheap. I mean, it's a Dior fragrance, and Sauvage in general, and really all Dior fragrances aren't cheap, but it's worth the investment. You don't need a whole lot of this stuff. I mean, you can see the atomizer here. That's pretty powerful. A couple sprays is all you need, and you're going to be set for the whole entire day. This stuff will really treat you well. Absolute compliment monster. Up next, we do have the only niche fragrance in this video. It's another one where I feel like I can't make a video like this without putting it in, and it is Layton. Vanilla, apple, cardamom, and lavender. So this is a nice, sweet option here. If you're looking for something for wintertime, for evenings, or you just don't want a freshie as your kind of a compliment monster scent, this is one that I would encourage you to look into big time. Don't just take it from me. I mean, this one here was getting so heavily hyped, and for the longest time, I just didn't even have it in my collection. I was getting comments all the time, people asking if I had something against Parfums de Marly, because I was one of the people that weren't hyping it up. But yeah, I'm finally a believer, love Layton. I've been enjoying it for a good while, and one of the main reasons I will say why I didn't get into this was because I didn't have any Parfums de Marly fragrances. And I have the type of personality to where if I get into one thing, I'm going full in. Long story short, I ended up with almost the entire Parfum de Marly line within a matter of months. So not cheap. But Layton is one of the go-to scents for compliments. Harrod works great. Even Carlisle works phenomenal, even though it's a bit more daring. But when we're talking about playing it safe and we're going for a sweet one, it's got to be Layton. Sedley, Percival, those are great, but on the fresher side. Beast mode scent, performance, compliments, quality, everything about this one is an absolute stunner. Next up, Ferragamo Uomo Casual Life. Violet leaf, coffee, and lemon. Nice little twist here on the DNA, a fresh twist, obviously. For whatever reason, Uomo and Uomo Signature seem to be sold out on the main discounters right now. I'm not sure what's going up with that. It's been that way for a while. I do believe it's available on retailers, but who really wants to pay retail for these when you know you can get them for 30 or 40 bucks and they're just not in stock right now? So because of that, I'll just throw in this one instead. It is one that is fully available and it's stock on discounters and that price range there. And it's really, really nice. It doesn't get talked about nearly as much as the two I just mentioned, which kind of makes sense. It's not going to be as good as those, but in terms of compliments, it does work really well. I mean, it is hard to turn your nose up to this. I mean, as an enthusiast, you definitely could, but the people out there, no, they're going to be all over this stuff. Check it out. Next up, something a little bit different, a little bit out of the ordinary. Very Sexy Platinum For Him by Victoria's Secret. So yeah, a little bit cringy. It's a Victoria's Secret fragrance. The name is, the name for sure. But, it's really, really nice, and it works like crazy. Sichuan pepper, oak moss, and violet leaves are the only 3 notes that they give you. And it's cool because I can just read them right on the back of the bottle. So this is a 50 ml bottle, really all I need anyway. If you're wearing this heavily, you may want to get a bigger bottle. For me, this works, and I'll tell you, it works well. Great compliment getter, great performer also, surprisingly. It smells nice. Nice violet leaf heavy scent here, so it's ozonic, fresh, kind of watery. There's a tiny bit of a spiciness. It just gets the job done. It gets compared a little bit to Abercrombie & Fitch Fierce, but in my opinion, it's a much better version of that. More refined, more smooth, just kind of more appealing overall. It's nothing exciting, it's nothing that's a challenge, but when it comes down to getting compliments, this one does it. And we have another one that kind of tags along with that, Explorer Ultra Blue by Montblanc. Sea notes, bergamot, pink pepper, and fruity notes are some of the main notes here. It smells really, really pleasant. This one, it has it rough. The critics are not nice to this one at all. And again, we're not shooting for uniqueness here. We're shooting for compliment factor, sex appeal, all of that stuff. And that's what this one does at the end of the day. The original Explorer also would be a fantastic choice, but that would be like throwing a Ventus in the list, and that would be too predictable. That would also make people upset. It'd be like a cop-out, which, yeah, it would be a cop-out. And this is me saying right now the original Explorer would work great, but also, so would this. Take your pick. Last up for this video, another Dior. This one is Homme 2020. One that is also kind of just, it's so easy. It's almost an unfair advantage as well. ISOE Super, Cashmerean, Cedarwood, and Vetiver. It's woody. It is the quintessential modern men's fragrance. And this, I don't think, has the capacity to offend anyone here. Again, we're not talking about enthusiasts. We're talking about people out there in the real world who are consumers and they're smelling things on you and thinking that smells good. That's who we're appealing to here. I mean, this stuff smells great, super clean, super fresh, very woody, has a nice modern, well put together, refined, and kind of upscale smell to it. My girlfriend absolutely loves this stuff, and I remember when I first got it in and I had her smell it, she immediately loved it, and I didn't like it that much, and she just wanted me to wear it, and I'm like, God, what did I do? Like, I'm gonna be stuck wearing this stuff because she likes it. Luckily, she forgot about it, and I didn't wear it because I didn't want to until I started testing it. Long story short, I've come around to it to appreciate it for what it is, and I have to say, they did a great job here. Alrighty guys, that's gonna do it for me. That is 10 compliment getting fragrances that will never let you down. Remember, I will provide links to all these down below to discounters. Fragrances at 35% off. You can hit that link, automatically applies. That way you can do your shopping and be confident that you're getting the best possible deal and saving the most money. Also, big thank you to Tish Hanley for sponsoring this one. Hit that first link down below to get your first box of Tish Hanley. Get that gift along with it. You will completely change how your skin looks and you will feel amazing. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.